Right here, I've got a lot of bedrock here. Bedrock in the corners. You may remember from the tour, my garage pad is a nice flat spot just above where my house is going to go. It looks pretty flat, but when you measure it, where I'm standing is actually the highest point, and then it slopes down about 18 inches to the south. In order to put a garage up, it needs to be flat, level, and square. To make it flat, we're actually moving a lot of dirt along the edges to develop a flat spot to put the foundation. Then later on, we'll actually fill everything in so that it's level all the way across. First step is to measure everything out. I used a series of strings based on the highest point and level. I have a laser level as well as a regular level to develop the lines upon which I would build the foundation. Then I used the bobcat to move dirt from the high spots to the lower spots. Once I'd moved a significant amount of dirt, then I set my strings back up. My strings were set 6 inches over the highest point of the garage, so then I just used my tape measure to measure from the strings down to the existing dirt, trying to get an idea where I still needed to move dirt. After checking all around the perimeter, I determined I still had a high spot towards the back, so I used the bobcat to continue to move dirt to where it needed to be. This is 5 or 6 hours of dirt moving, condensed into a minute or so. Moved a lot of dirt, but in the end, we had a nice level perimeter where the garage was going to go. This clip actually has nothing to do with the garage, but this was my first time ever using an excavator. This little Mini X was a lot of fun to learn how to drive. I needed to determine how deep my soil is here to see if I can put in a telephone pole here or if I need to choose another location. At the end, I determined it was deep enough, and I ended up with a nice little pile of dirt showing I can learn how to use an excavator. I'm fortunate to have a friend who's built quite a few buildings. He came over and helped me get everything finished up. Here we're putting in what we call batter boards. Batter boards are anchors that sit outside the footprint of the building to which you can attach strings. Those strings can run over the exact perimeter of the building, so you can tell exactly where it needs to be. But then when you're doing something like pouring concrete or putting in forms, you can move the strings so they're not in the way. Batter boards are super important. If they end up moving, suddenly you don't have a point of reference anymore to keep your building square. I initially tried to put the batter boards in using a shovel. Let me tell you what, using an excavator is the only way to go. Shovel and a little bit of loose dirt finishes up the location of the batter boards. The foundation of my garage consists of cement columns. Connecting these columns are small footings that are mostly serve the purpose of keeping rodents and such out. Now that we have our batter boards up, we marked the location of all these columns. Now it's just a matter of digging these areas out. An excavator makes light work of it. This area went particularly fast. We were only a foot or two down to bedrock. Partway through the project, one of my neighbors stopped by just to see how we were coming along. Moving too fast to catch it all while it was happening. Caught a little bit of it, but we'll kind of go through what we did now. So we've got our batter boards. Those will keep our building true. They have to stay there till the end of the project. Then we went and dug all of our piers based on their position on the from the batter boards. Got those all dug. Now in here, I've got bedrock here, so driving on some rebar and then some anchors in there, just mostly to keep it from shifting side to side and from uplift. Then this side here, I've got a lot of bedrock here. Bedrock in the corners. One little pocket there where it goes kind of deep. Then bedrock. Here's our corner. Hit bedrock there. So that was good. I wasn't sure how far I was going to have to go. As you can see, there was a possibility I was going to have to go like 15 feet, which wasn't going to happen, but we did hit bedrock there. Then these are not really actually supporting anything, so they don't have to be super deep. This bad boy here, we'd almost given up hitting bedrock, and we're going to have to come up with something different. And then boom, hit bedrock. That's a long ways down there. Got her dug out. Have to square everything up still. Along here, no bedrock to be found, so we just went 3 to 4 feet deep. This ground was part of an old rock pit, and all of it was packed up here, bulldozer and front end loader, so it got compacted really well. The backhoe was having a little bit of a hard time digging through it, so we're not too worried about it. This guy here, probably going to stick a block down in the bottom of it, just so we've got something for uplift, and then some more non-structural ones. That's what's happening here on the garage. Making good progress.